And welcome back everybody in this digital addiction series. So today we're going to talk about adult content. This is the biggest addiction. We have many participants in our digital purge program regarding video games, social media, online betting, but there is no equivalent to adult content, to porn. This is the most disastrous, this is the most powerful addiction. And today we're going to see how to use Culture, a free software that is going to help you to block any of those websites. So this can not only help you to succeed your NoFap challenge, but it can also help you to rewire your brain progressively to stop consuming an unlimited amount of porn for hours and hours and just keep destroying your brain, your social relationship, your self-esteem, and sometimes your money, your time. All those things are familiar. And so what we're going to see today is how to set up Culture Key. So if you don't have it installed yet, I would encourage you to watch our other video where we show you how to set it up really quickly but efficiently. For today, we're going to talk only about how to block things, and we're going to give you a few tips. We're going to give you a few setups that we have created that are really powerful to block anything that could tempt you on your computer for your peace of mind. Because if you are well protected, you're not in a constant tension about, am I going to yield? Am I going to go for this temptation? And no, there is no question. If your environment is secured, if you have protect all access to adult content, you will not have temptation. And that's the easiest way to stop an addiction, right? It's not to put effort in trying to resist it. It's trying to put effort in putting that addiction further away from you, to make every access more difficult, because your brain is smart, and if he understands that it's not as easy as before to get this pleasure, he's going to reconsider things. He's going to orient his attention to something else, and this is where the rewiring takes place. Now, before moving further, we would invite you to actually test your digital bad habits to see if it's dangerous, to see if it's an addiction. This will help you to gain self-awareness, assess your addiction levels compared to others, and to get personalized insights from addiction experts. This test is completely free and anonymous. You will receive the results by email. It's really easy to do. You can do it in 4 minutes. At the end, you will get a score out of 100, and you will know what's going well and what's not, what could be dangerous and what to watch out for. You will also get, most importantly, insights from digital addiction experts on what to do and how you can improve things. Alright, so go ahead and follow with us. We're going to start creating a new block, and here you can see that you can type like any website and you can just add it, and now this website will be blocked. What we can do with the software is import a website category, and you can see that if I do that, the software is going to load a default list of famous websites. This list is short, is not optimized. With the team, we've created a list that you can download on followingfulfillment.com/culturekey. And this list is just the result of participants compile them in one list to make sure like a maximum websites are blocked. So to import it, you just go on import and you want to select website from file. So once you have downloaded it, of course, and here is the list. It's going to take a little bit of time because the list is huge, but now it's done. And we block websites that has some keyword in the URL. For example, any search, anything that contains the word porn will be blocked, and so on. And we did this for 1,000 of websites. So you will be already well protected with that. Of course, that's not enough. I'm going to reinforce this security by going in application, and here you can block by window title. That's kind of interesting because some websites don't necessarily have a forbidden keyword in the URL. And this is a problem because Culture Key is not going to detect it, and it's going to be a problem because you're going to be able to access it. These websites almost all the time have the keyword in the title of the website, and the window title take the title of the website. So if there is a forbidden keyword, it's going to be blocked, even if it's not in the URL. That's also a really powerful extension. So what we're going to do, we're going to add window title, and here I can add my title. So basically the character that you see here and here is a wildcard that can represent any text. So basically anything before, anything after, we don't care as long as there is this keyword inside. So I'm going to add it, and now all the pages that have this word inside are completely blocked. Now, to make your life easier and avoid typing everything, you will find in the file that you download a list of pre-made keywords. So to import it, just select the ctbal file, which is the extension of cold turkey, and here you will see that it automatically imports all the keywords. So any window that has the word in the title is going to be blocked, which makes it way more powerful than just relying on the URL. Check it because some keywords may not be related to your special case, some keywords may be missing, so you want to make this list personal. This is just something to get you started with. It's a list that is already really powerful because it was made compiled with many participants, so it can be really relevant, but of course nothing is better than personalize it. So we're gonna save it. I'm gonna call it Adult Content Blocker. So let's try to activate it and see if it works. So I'm gonna go on a forbidden website, and as you can see, it's blocked. If you click on website, it's writing which keyword is problematic and from which block, which can be useful if you have other blocks. Now that being said, you can see that it's easy to unblock, and if you unblock it, you're going to be able to access any website. So what we want to do, we want to lock it. Now there's a bunch of options that we can use to lock it. We're going to review some of them. Like the timer one is most likely the most powerful one you want to go with, because you can lock this block for a certain amount of time. If you choose the option as long as possible, it's going to lock it until forever, basically, for 13 years. So think twice before using that one, because you won't be able to disable the block, you won't be able to install cold turkey, you won't be able to change a bunch of parameters. So if you made a mistake in this block, like you blocked a keyword that you realize later that is essential to another website that is totally fine, you won't be able to go back. The only way would be to reinstall completely your computer. So what I would recommend you here, if you're setting that for the first time, is to go for maybe 1 week, okay, and see how it goes. And after 1 week, it's gonna unlock, and so you can make some change. You can maybe remove some keyword. You can always add some keywords even if the block is locked. That's a cool functionality. However, you cannot remove them. You cannot make the blocked more tolerant when it's locked. We won't use the other options for this one. You can use the password. However, it requires the Pro that costs 35 euros lifetime, and then you can put a password and maybe hide it somewhere far from you, or give it to a friend that knows what you're doing, what you're trying to do, and to tell him, hey, give me back the password only in 2 weeks, or only if I feel really desperate because I needed to change the settings, or whatever, you know, that could be an interesting possibility. Restart is just gonna unlock it if you restart, which I think is not enough for an adult content addiction. Time range allows you to basically unlock or lock the block depending on the schedule, and random text is adding resistance. So for example, I put 5,000, I have to copy this text on my keyboard to unlock it. If you are heavily addicted, this may not be enough. Our recommendation will be to go to the timer. It's the most powerful option, and there is no way you can cheat with a random text and restart and password and time range. There is way your brain is gonna find a hack to cheat on this block. The timer, you cannot cheat on it. Once the timer is working, so let's say I go on 5 minutes on it, up lock for 5 minutes, there is no way I can modify it, so it's working, and there is no way I can cheat. What I can do, however, if I feel like, hey, you know what, this block is working, I don't need to modify anything, I can increase it, I can add time. So you can see here I'm adding 1 minute, and now it's blocked, 1 extra minute. I can also do that for weeks and months. So this is a good option if you realize progressively that your block is well done, it doesn't require any modification. Now, congratulations for this first block. Now we're gonna move to the second block. This block is going to block everything, and this is important because sometimes your brain is gonna cheat. He's gonna see like, okay, adult content blocker is not blocking Instagram, for example. Let's find an Instagram hot babe profile, and here you go. He accesses it, and you relapse and you fail quitting. Why should we block everything? Well, simply because there are some moments where your cravings hit really hard, and in this moment, whatever is your trigger, it can be boredom, it can be loneliness, it can be hormones. Your brain is gonna seek adult content elsewhere. He's trying to cheat on you, and you don't want that. You want to protect this moment. So maybe you have identified this moment where you feel a bit more tempted than over. It can be in the morning after a wet dream, or it can be during the night, or it can be a moment where you feel not so good. So once you have identified more or less this moment, the goal is to protect them. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create, for this example, a block that locked me out during the night and the morning, because I feel that's the moment where most of the cravings happen, where they are the hardest. And so in this moment, I want to allow myself some website exceptions, like, I don't know, maybe some audiobook before going to bed, and in the morning I want to allow my email address. I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna call it night block, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna schedule it. So that's another powerful feature from Cold Turkey in continuous block. If you click here, you can select block this list according to the following schedule. So this is a pro feature. If you don't have it, you can start a trial clicking on the link on the left, on the button on the left. I'm gonna create a blocks that is going to take place every day, and that is gonna start from 10 p.m. because that's the time where I feel that's usually I go to see some adult content. So I want to protect this area, I want to let this thing on no break and create it. And now you can see that from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. it's impossible to access every website but the website that I'll allow myself, which is audiobook and Gmail for now. I want to create one in the morning, so from 12 a.m. to, let's say, 9 a.m., which is gonna be the time I'm gonna wake up and get out of the bed and start my day, so I don't feel the need to watch adult content anymore. You can see it's showing in a really nice way, in a really scheduled way. So I'm gonna save it and activate the block. Now, if I go in overview, I can see the schedule showing up here. You can see that the adult content blocker is working 24/7, which is a continuous block, but our night block is starting only at 10 p.m., which gives me a little bit of time. And now I can lock it using the different methods that we saw before. Now, let's say you just have the free version and for some reason you want to keep using the free version. What you can do is, instead of using the schedule one, so you will have a continuous block, you will go here and you will go in time range. And in time range, you can unlock or lock the block whenever you want. So here I'm gonna unlock it from 9 a.m. to, let's say, 10 p.m. That's a little bit more inconvenient than using the schedule, which is with the Pro, but still it's a possibility. Now, with this block setup, you're protected in the area of the day where you feel the weakest. So this block is going to help you if you wake up from a wet dream or whatever, if you feel a bit down at some point. This block is going to protect you. It's a complementary block from the adult blocker. Now, let's say I'm browsing NBC News and I'm scrolling, and now an image catch my attention, so I'm clicking on it just to have a peek, out of curiosity. The more I scroll, the more my cravings are waking up, feeling tempted, I'm feeling like activated, I'm triggered, basically. A regular shopping page, there is no forbidden keyword in it, but for somebody that's trying to completely quit adult content and that is having a heavy addiction and feeling cravings, intense cravings, this can be enough to feel tempted, to feel activated, to feel triggered, and your brain doesn't make the difference between a body that is here and a body that he will see on another website. So if you start feeling triggered, if you start feeling the rush, what you can do, I'm going to show you, I'm going to press 3 keys, and what you can see is that suddenly everything is blocked. I haven't moved from the web page, I've just pressed a keystroke on my computer, and what happened is that the block automatically started and locked for 2 minutes. Now you can do that too really easily. You have to create first a new block and block every website and save as. I'm gonna call it emergency. Now go back to your desktop and create a new text document. I'm gonna call it emergency. Open it and copy paste this command from the file you would have downloaded on our website, or you can also type it. What is important is that you link it to the file folder of Cold Turkey on your computer. Then you want to put the exact name of the block that we just created, emergency. If you call it a different name, put that name here. And here is the number of minutes this block is going to stay active. Now go on File, Save As, and change the .text by .cmd, which is a command file. And here you want to select all files. I'm going to save it, to close this one. And here you should have this little icon that appeared. You want to copy and fast shortcut. And on this shortcut, we are now going to be able, by going to properties, to create a shortcut to activate it under the tab shortcut. Here you can type pretty much every shortcut that you want. I'm going to select minimize for it to be more quiet, and I'm going to apply it. Now let's open cold turkey and try to press my keys. And as you can see, it just started. So I didn't have to click anywhere, I just had to press the short key, and it's working pretty fast, pretty efficient, and this can save me from a lot of trouble. Now to go further, if you have a mouse with many buttons, like a gamer mouse, you can also allocate this shortcut to your mouse. So it's right at the tip of your fingers. If you feel temptation, bam, you click and you're protected. You can take a break, you can break the autopilot mode. You can also go further if you want on getcoldturkey.com/support user guide, all the details on how you can use that. You can also set it up with a password, with random text, and you can start basically any block name. That can be useful. Now, one last thing, you can go on blocks and frozen turkey, and here you will be able to use the frozen turkey mod. So basically a really aggressive mod that is going to lock you out from your computer. You can change what it does into settings, blocking, and here you can choose either lock screen, sign out, or shutdown. I'm going to choose sign out, and you can activate it whenever you feel you're gonna yield, or whenever you feel the temptations, the cravings are eating really hard, and maybe you want to just have a calm, tranquil mind, knowing that you cannot find any access. So you can lock yourself outside of your computer. Maybe 15 minutes will be enough, maybe one day, who knows. But whenever you have choose a time, you can just press start and you're gonna be locked outside of your computer. And there is pretty much nothing you can do unless you add some allowance. So we hope by now you are having a clean and efficient cold turkey installation. Of course, as you may guess, a simple software is not enough to quit digital bad habits. And that's why we've created the Digital Purge, an online course to give you the tools you need to understand your triggers and to leverage psychology so you can finally hack any digital bad habit you want to get rid of. Rather than relying on willpower and suffering by trying to resist temptations, we teach you how to identify and destroy them so you can feel in peace. To give you an extra motivation, we drop down in the description a really nice early coupon so you can get a promotion for the #1 course that breaks any digital addiction.